Okay guys, finally making another video. So I'm gonna start doing videos like this where I'm literally just talking to the camera, rambling on. I got, some notes here, but I may not be the most professional, but you're gonna get some good information. And I'm talking about basics here. This is basic information. So don't come at me with all this. That's not right. Nah. All of this stuff can be expounded on. I could sit here and talk about it for hours and hours and hours and hours. So it's basic. But this is what you need to know. This will save you a lot of screwing around if you're new to the game. And you just listen to this advice. Because it took me about 5 years to figure all this stuff out. Okay, so first off, so we're talking about diet. This is important. The most important factor. Training is the fun part. Dieting is the hard part. Got some leftover dinner here. Oh, I should say leftover meal 4. Anyway, so you need to choose your diet strategy based on your goals. What are you trying to do? You trying to lose weight? You're trying to gain weight? You're trying to lose body fat and put on muscle and just be ripped instantaneously? Look like a guy from a magazine who's been using all types of high quality drugs for 14 years. Living and breathing, training and bodybuilding. You want to look like that guy in about a month? Yeah, well, it's not going to happen. But being informed will help you get there faster, more efficiently, in a more healthy manner. So, choose your diet based on your goals. Every client that comes to me always is a little bit overweight and they want to be lean and muscular. So, their goal is to lose body fat and gain lean muscle tissue. The way you do that is by losing your fat first and then gaining your tissue in a lean manner. And there's ways to go about doing that. Losing weight and gaining muscle at the same time is essentially counterproductive because you have to be in some sort of a calorie restriction. You have to be eating less calories in a day than your total daily energy expenditure will allow. So your TDEE is the amount of calories that you can eat in a day to maintain your weight. And the very basics of that is if you eat more calories, then you're going to gain weight. If you eat less, you're going to lose weight. So that's very basic. There's optimal ways to do it by eating the right macronutrients, getting those calories from the right macronutrients and at the right times and all types of stuff. So, we're going to use that as an example. If your goal is to lose body fat and gain muscle, the way that I think is most efficient is to lose the body fat first and then gain the muscle after. Unfortunately, when you hear that, when a client hears that, they go, oh, I don't want to do that because that sucks. I'm going to get skinny and it's going to take forever and blah, blah, blah. So, most people go, okay, I'm going to do it this way. I'm just going to, keep eating, eat the right stuff and train and do cardio. And I'm just going to not see the results that I want. I'm going to keep the body fat that's on my body and my arms are going to get bigger. And then I'm going to be disappointed in 3 or 4 months when what I wanted to happen didn't happen because I didn't do it right. So, that is basically choose your goals. So, So, the example we're using is to lose or to be ripped. So, the different ways that I like the different tools that I like to use are carb cycling. When I say carb cycling first, because carb cycling is probably, and I'm going to say this, I think it's one of the most effective ways of dieting. I think it is amazing. And, anyone in the world can call me out on that, but I have personal experience with it, and I have, client experience with it, and it is a very good way to do when done correctly. Very effective. Carb cycling, ketogenic diets, those are really popular right now. I think ketogenic diets are great. But, I have my issues with ketogenic diet. I think I personally think that it is prone to wasting muscle. But we won't get into that. It has its place, for sure. It definitely has its place. And just a regular macro setup style diet, so like a bro diet. You got your 8 meals a day, and you got your protein, carbs, and fats in each meal, and you're just hitting all those macros, and that's another way of dieting. And then there's if it fits your macros. And when I say if it fits your macros, I'm talking about all these kids on YouTube eating chocolate-covered fruit roll-ups and, then a bowl of cereal and some chocolate bars and some Pop-Tarts, and then at the end of the day, having 4 scoops of whey protein and hitting their macros. And for some reason, all those kids look like twig people. They look like a stick bug. But they're hitting all their macros. Probably not to get me started on if it fits your macros, kids. Just like, don't get me started on CrossFit. Anyway, then there's fasting style diets. Intermittent fasting, where you fast for long periods of time. Shorten your window of eating. A lot of people think that, those diets affect your natural growth hormone release and all this kind of crap. And, that may or may not be true. Who knows? Anyway, those are just, a few of the ways to diet, a few of the tools that someone may use to diet properly. And other things that are very important when it comes to setting up your diet. First things first, I'll just talk from a point of view of what I have my clients do. And that's always I look at their personal history, how food affects them. Some people are more sensitive to carbohydrates and, grow differently from different things. And that's always a good thing to assess. But first off, I always try and kind of make someone's digestive health more optimal by introducing certain things. Those things being... First of all, one of the best things that anyone who knows me will know I preach constantly is apple cider vinegar. Take a lot of that throughout the day and your digestive health will be improved greatly. Fermented items, kimchi is amazing. But then, the simpler type things that people will actually use are like magnesium, digestive enzymes, probiotics, zinc, lots of different vitamins that I'll have someone take along with fiber supplementation, and then, fiber within their diet, depending on what their diet plan is. On a ketogenic diet, I wouldn't have someone eating starchy vegetables. They would be eating non-starchy vegetables. They'd be eating things like, if you're trying to eat vegetables, but stay in ketosis, you want to be eating vegetables like asparagus and green beans and things like that. You don't want to be eating things like broccoli because those are heavy in carbohydrates in themselves. Anyways, I'm going to speed this up. So, the way I would design a diet, obviously you find someone's total daily energy expenditure, build around that depending on their goals. Choose your tool, your dieting tool. And it's all going to be specific. The knowledge, is going to be there from experience. I have knowledge from my own personal experience and from educating myself constantly. So I look at someone, I ask them a million questions. I look at their body, and I'll base their diet around what they tell me. So if someone is really, really overweight, they don't have a lot of muscle in the first place, and everyone's on a time constraint, of course. I'll put them on a ketogenic diet because I think ketosis, putting yourself in a state of ketosis, using ketones as energy rather than carbohydrates is amazing because let's face it, we don't need carbohydrates. The body will continue to live without consuming any carbohydrates. The body will not continue to live if you do not consume any fat or protein. So it's the macronutrient that is essentially non-essential to life. And, everyone I do have that goes on a ketogenic diet always tells me that once they enter ketosis, they feel like $1,000,000. They have mental clarity, all types of stuff. Because it's natural. Your body starts using its own ketones and body fat essentially as fuel instead of carbohydrates, instead of sugar inside your blood. Anyway, ketosis rant over. Another thing, don't use all your tools at once. Don't start dieting and going, okay, I'm going to just get shredded. I'm going to start doing cardio. I'm going to do cardio within my training. I'm going to go on a ketogenic diet. I'm going to take all these stims. I'm going to take Clen, the ECA stack, and I'm going to just eat way below my daily caloric needs, and I'm going to get shredded. No, because you'll stall out and you'll have nowhere left to go. Implement these tools in the right order. You may not know what the right order is. I'm not going to get into that. That's all going to be personal. And then there's the reverse side of things. Gaining weight. What do you do once you lose the weight? Once you get shredded, you want to go back up without putting on fat. How do you do that? You choose another diet plan, whether it's carb cycling or just a regular macro setup, which is what I do, which is why I have too many chins. Anyway, you want to, if you're going into a state of growth with a lean body, you want a lean bulk, which what they call it. You need to add food back into your diet because that's the only way you're going to grow. But you got to add it in the right place. So that means timing. And yes, if it's your macros, guys, I know meal timing doesn't matter. Okay, well, it does matter. It matters. Matters to me. I think it matters. Anyways, so add the right macros. So if you're trying to stay lean, which macronutrient do you add in first to up your food, to up your calories? Protein. Second, fat. Third, carbohydrates. And we're going to take a step further. We're going to say you add those carbohydrates in around your workouts so that you're using those carbohydrates as fuel rather than them just sitting around your body. But like I said, bringing it back to the beginning of this video, this is basics. I may not do that. I may have someone eat all their carbs right before bed, depending on the situation. That's not typical, but there's all different types of situations. Lifestyle is a huge factor. If you ever hire a coach and they don't consider your lifestyle, then they're not a very good coach, because a diet is only as good as if the person's going to follow this diet. All right? Because if they just look at it and go, this doesn't work for me, and I'm not going to do it, then it's useless and whatever. I personally care about my clients and want them to succeed. So when I set up a plan, it's very customized.